This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Autumn Ridge travel trailer, model 26BH. Alright, so I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? So, we have some storage here, obviously. You have crank down stabilizers here. You have a power awning with LED strip, outside speakers. That's just outside power there. This is your hitch right here. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. We'll show you how that operates when you pick up. You also have a crank for the stabilizers. Also, that crank can be used for your tongue jack right here. This is a power tongue jack, of course, and it's got a hitch light on it. But if it ever fails, you can pull this plug right here and put that 3/4 inch crank on there and crank it manually. You could also use a 6.75 inch socket on an electric drill, whatever you want to do. But either way, you can operate this in an emergency. You can operate it manually. Okay. 2 LP tanks full, deep cycle marine battery. Okay. See what else we have here. This is just the other side of your pass-through storage. This is your dump hose. This here is your sprayer, the coiled hose for your sprayer. I'll show you where that attaches to when we get to it. Okay, so now the most common way to get water to the trailer is city water hookup, right, which is back here. So if you look at this drawing here, when this blue handle is vertical, it's city water. So you have your hose hooked up to here, and you're all set. All the plumbing in the trailer will work. Now, if you turn it this way, it'll fill your fresh water tank also. There's a second way to fill your fresh water tank right here. In case you have to dump it in. Let's say you have to have a funnel or something like that, you can actually fill the freshwater tank here also. Either way. You're only going to use the freshwater tank is if you don't have city water on the campsite. If you're boondocking or you just don't have any city water hookup, you can pre-fill the tank and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. So the hose I showed you hooks onto here. This is your black tank flush right here. So you can see you've got your valves here. Your black tank is on the right. It's always the larger valve. Black tank is toilet water and waste. Then you have your gray here, which is sink and shower water. And these are your low point drains here. That has to do with plumbing, excuse me, not plumbing, but it's the low point of the plumbing, and it has to do with winterizing the trailer. So after you dump your tanks, if you leave the black tank valve open, that's important. You got to leave the black tank valve open. Then you hook your hose here, those are the dump station, right onto here, and turn it on, and it'll spray the inside of your black tank out, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. Just make sure that you have your black tank valve open. You don't want to build too much pressure up in there. Okay? While we're standing here, this is the vent for your range hood. Now, the range hood has a fan in it, obviously. If you want to vent to the outside, let's say you're cooking something that you need to vent it, you just push up on these latches there and let the baffle flap freely like that. It has to be flapping freely or it won't vent to the outside. So make sure you do that if you're going to run the fan. And when you're not doing it, you can just shut it like that when you're traveling or in storage, or, whatever. Okay? This is your 30 amp, 30-foot power cord. We also give you a reducer to reduce it down to a 20, so you can plug it in at home if you need to pack it up or whatever. This is your water heater. The switches to operate it are inside the trailer. Right now it's empty and is bypassed, right? So you can tell it's empty. The plug, or the cap in this case, is right here. It goes right on here, okay? There's no water in it because it's winter time and you don't want to damage the tank if the water freezes. So the valve's in the back of the tank is directly behind here, by the way. It's a 6-gallon tank. and on the back of that are some valves called bypass valves. Right now this tank is bypassed and it's empty, so it's all set for the winter. Okay, never run the tank, never turn on the gas or whatever without water in the tank. So when the spring comes and you de-winterize the trailer and you put it in camping mode, always make sure that you fill this water tank before you turn it on, or else you can damage it. So you always have to make sure that there's water in the tank. That's important. Okay, this housing up here is telling us is pre-wired for a backup camera. This is a Furrion setup, so if you want to add that on there, we can do it for you, or you can do it yourself, whatever you want to do. But you'll be able to see behind you when you're backing up, and you also can see behind you when you're going down the road if you choose. Okay. Also, while we're looking up, manufacturer says inspect your roof every 60 days, so you want to make sure you have somebody inspect that roof, make sure there's no cracking or sealing where the sealant's at, any place water can get through. You want to make sure that none of the roofing attachments are damaged, or the roofing material is damaged by, let's say, low branches or road debris flipping up there or whatever. Just give it a good look over to make sure everything's good. You're just protecting your investment, staying ahead of any possible issues. So make sure you inspect it regularly, okay? If you see an issue, take care of it right away. Okay, so let's go inside here. Okay, so first thing we see is the control panel. So this is for your, right here, your water pump. Remember I told you can pump water from the fresh water tank. That's right here. It also can be used when you winterize the trailer, right? If you got city water, you don't need that pump going, of course. You're just going to be using this water pressure. To let your water heater on electric here, it's got an electric heating element. And if you just light it on gas, it's right there. So two different energy sources. Remember, always make sure that the water heater tank is full before you turn it on. Most people will just run the electric heating element while they're camping, but if they want to use the shower, for example, they'll kick on the gas just while showering, because it recovers much quicker, gives you a lot more hot water. So keep that in mind. Then your battery's charged, as you can see. Fresh water is empty, black is empty, gray is empty. These graduate up in 1/3 increments. Once you get past 2/3, you're going to have to start thinking about dumping your gray and your black tank. This is your power awning switch here. So let me look and see what we got here. Okay, we got plenty of room. So this is your awning. Very simple, in and out. Never leave the awning out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in. You don't want to damage it, because the wind comes along, it can get damaged very quickly. Alright, so next, this is the carbon monoxide and LP gas detector right here. You can see it's green, glowing green. It's always got to be green. If it's not green, get it serviced. It's very important. If it detects carbon monoxide or LP gas, it'll alert you. That happens, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, figure out what's going on. If it beeps very slowly, the same pitch but very slowly, or same tone but very slowly, it's telling you your battery's low. So like I said, it detects carbon monoxide and LP gas, plus it'll tell you if your battery's low. Here, let me show you here. LP test is good, carbon monoxide coming up, and then the low battery alert. Back to green, so it should always be green. Okay, so let's see here. This couch jackknifes flat to turn into a bed. Alright. The table, you can drop the tabletop down onto these cleats here. There's 4 of them. And you can turn this into a bed, so you got more sleeping there. Your keys are right here hanging on your faucet. Your range, always, your bifold glass cover, always keep it closed when you're traveling. You don't want it to get damaged, because if you leave it up, it can get damaged, so always close it. So right here you have the sparker. Turn this clockwise to spark. Then you got 3 knobs here with 3 burners, and then the last one is for the oven. Okay, so let's see. There you go, it's that simple. The oven, now there's a pilot light at the bottom all the way to the back. Let me see if I can show it to you by doing this. Maybe not. So either way, you have to light it. So you go to the picture of the flame, and then you depress it. Then you light the pilot light. Right? As soon as it lights, you keep holding this in, and you keep it depressed for about another 10 to 15 seconds after it lights, so it heats up the thermocouple. Then you can go to operating temperature and run it, cycles as an oven does. But when you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. This is the range hood fan I told you about. Remember I told you about the baffle on the outside, and it's got a light also. Your microwave works like any other microwave. Your refrigerator is a 12 volt DC refrigerator, so it runs on 12 volts. It's very simple, on and off. Then you can up and down with the temperature, and then these are different eco modes. So you can put it in a nighttime mode where it's using less energy to cool, so it'll save energy. So, but it's all 12 volt. It's nice and big. And this down here is your power converter. So what this does is converts AC to DC power. So right here you have 110 AC circuit breakers here, just like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled, right? So that's kind of like your distribution panel there. So what it does is it takes the 110 AC and then it converts it to 12 volt DC on this side, and you can see you got 12 volt fuses here, and they're all labeled, right? If they actually blow, they'll actually light up, and you can actually see them glowing through this perforation here. There's a fan there, so you can hear the fan running when you demand 12 volts from it. The fan will kick on to cool it down. So that's normal. Also, this is a battery tender, so as long as you're plugged in, it's going to sense how much energy your battery up front needs, and it'll always keep it charged up for you. When you're traveling down the road, of course, your tow vehicle's alternator will send power through the charge line and keep your battery charged up. So when you're traveling, your car keeps it charged, and your tow vehicle keeps it charged. When you're plugged in, this power converter keeps it charged. All right. 2 bunks. This is a thermostat. You just hit the mode button to light it up, and you'll scroll through all the options. Very simple. This red light here, you can shut it off. There's a little button next to it, but that's telling you the digital signal booster for the digital antenna on the roof is on. So if it was off and you had a TV hooked up, you wouldn't get a good picture. So keep that in mind. You always want it on when you're using it. All right. Sink, obviously. This is a GFCI plug. All the plugs in the trailer, even the one on the outside, are wired through this GFCI. So if you're using something outside and it pops, you're going to reset it in here, of course. They're all the receptacles are wired through it. Okay, the shower works like any other shower. You have a powered vent here. And of course the toilet is a RV toilet, so that's antifreeze we're looking at there. This is the flush pedal. Okay, so the black tank is directly below. So the thing to remember is you can't use it dry. Dry, I'm talking about the black tank. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water. Then you come in here and you'll dump 1 dose of chemical in the toilet bowl. Then you'll step on the flush pedal and hold it till about a gallon of water, along with the chemical, goes down into the black tank. You can use more than a gallon of water, but don't use less. And you're all set. You just can't use it dry, because if you use it dry, the smell will be terrible, and it can get clogged up and cause all kinds of problems. So always make sure you have chemical and water in there. Okay, so let me look here. Let me shut that off. If the buttons don't come on with the, or if the lights don't come on with the main switch, they have a button there in the middle. Okay. So you go, there's some storage underneath the benches. Okay. This is your remote for your radio right here. This basically is an AM FM radio. It has Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly from your phone or your tablet. AM, FM, I stated. It also has a USB, so you could, put all your albums on one USB stick and take them with you. You have this HDMI here, which is an in, right, to go into the system with, let's say, a Blu-ray player or something. You have 2 speaker zones. One is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer, so it does everything you need. Okay. And this is all your literature for it right here in this packet, okay? And this is the reducer I told you about to reduce your power cord down to 20 amps so you can plug it in at home, okay? All right, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember to inspect your roof on a regular basis every 60 days or so. Right now the trailer is winterized, meaning all the water's been purged from the system and replaced with antifreeze. The water heater itself is bypassed and empty. Okay? Thank you.